Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth. Man suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun. We seldom realize, for example, that our most private thoughts and emotions are not actually our own, for we think in terms of languages and images which we did not invent, but which were given to us by our society. The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple, and yet everybody rushes around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. To have faith is to trust yourself to the water. When you swim, you don't grab hold of the water, because if you do, you will sink and drown. Instead, you relax and float. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. You are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. You are a function of what the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is a function of what the whole ocean is doing. Through our eyes, the universe is perceiving itself. Through our ears, the universe is listening to its harmonies. We are the witnesses through which the universe becomes conscious of its glory, of its magnificence. I have realized that the past and future are real illusions, that they exist in the present, which is what there is and all there is. The more a thing tends to be permanent, the more it tends to be lifeless. Try to imagine what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Now try to imagine what it was like to wake up having never gone to sleep. Problems that remain persistently insoluble should always be suspected as questions asked in the wrong way. Every intelligent individual wants to know what makes him tick, and yet is at once fascinated and frustrated by the fact that oneself is the most difficult of all things to know. Life is like music for its own sake. We are living in an eternal now, and when we listen to music, we are not listening to the past. We are not listening to the future. We are listening to an expanded present. Never pretend to a love which you do not actually feel, for love is not ours to command. You and I are all as much continuous with the physical universe as a wave is continuous with the ocean. But I'll tell you what hermits realize. If you go off into a far, far forest and get very quiet, you'll come to understand that you're connected with everything. So then, the relationship of self to other is the complete realization that loving yourself is impossible without loving everything defined as other than yourself. If you cannot trust yourself, you cannot even trust your mistrust of yourself, so that without this underlying trust in the whole system of nature, you are simply paralyzed. No one is more dangerously insane than one who is sane all the time. He is like a steel bridge without flexibility, and the order of his life is rigid and brittle. Just as true humor is laughter at oneself, true humanity is knowledge of oneself. If the universe is meaningless, so is the statement that it is so. If this world is a vicious trap, so is its accuser, and the pot is calling the kettle black.